This is the moment that the world has been waiting for. I know I've definitely been waiting. Seems like an absolute lifetime anyway. Good evening, good morning, hello, hola, buongiorno. Welcome to the Ace Jordan Show. My name is Ace Jordan, and I am delighted to announce, after 9 weeks of trying, after all the ball ache you can imagine in the world, after everything has gone wrong, we've managed to get Claire the Bear 85 live on the show. How you doing, Claire? You all right?
Thank you. I'm doing well. I'm not as well as I could be, but I am here. I've shown up for the Bears. It's the sort of contractually obliging. I'm obliged to be involved in Monday Night Football if the Bears are on.
Okay, so are you telling me that you've been forced to watch the Bears? I mean, because surely you have to be forced to watch the Bears.
I have been a Bears fan for 3 decades now. I mean, I remember Super Bowl 20. I'm of that age. It's an abusive relationship now. I love them, but they don't love me back, sort of thing. It's more out of habit now than anything else.
Claire, for anybody that doesn't know you, how would you describe yourself in 3 words? Is football a huge part of your life, or how big is football in your life?
Oh well, it is everything. Those would be my 3 words.
How long have you been watching it for?
35 years now.
Only 35 years now?
Yeah.
All right then. So surely you've got a few Bears moments that stick out in your mind. What would be some of your Bears moments?
From a selfish standpoint, I was at Wembley when Matt Forte scored, and obviously being in your home soccer stadium, watching that was amazing. Also, they came away with the W. I was at the Bears inaugural match for the new opening of the stadium that they're in now. Rumours about leaving and whatnot, where Johnson made the catch that wasn't a catch. That's a bit of an iconic moment.
Oh no, we know. How can we not?
So I was there for that, and I'll tell you now. Even though I'm a Bears fan, and if you cut me, I will bleed navy and orange for you. The referees called that wrong. Megatron caught that ball, and I will tell you that straight now for nothing. And also, what was piece de resistance moment as being a Bears fan. There's a quite iconic moment against the Cardinals, Allianz Stadium, where the Bears are who we were. I was at that game. We were trailing in the 3rd quarter deep, and we came back. And I still get tingles thinking about that. The best 14 seconds of my life is Devin Hester's kickoff return at the Super Bowl.
Oh, well.
You're like, yeah. I mean, we've had some ups and some downy downs, but we may moan. We may be a franchise for moany fans, which is true. I'll take it on the chin. But we as loyal fans, once you're in, you're in. It's like the Chicago mob. You don't leave the Bears leave you.
We all know Chicago fans. They go hard.
They have
a big reputation.
I've been to games in Chicago where I've bought a beer and the beer freezes, and the guy next to me is like, "You are not drinking that fast enough." So the Chicago Bears fans regularly sit out in sub-zero temperatures to watch a sometimes below average team, and it's a killer, yet they still do. So hats off genuinely to every Chicago Bears season ticket holder that rocks that religiously, because I've done 4 of those games, and 3 too many was an experience that one bitterly cold game is enough.
Let me go.
Earn my stripes.
Let me go one more in the past, right? So I remember. I mean, I'll talk about my background later, but I used to be a professional football coach, like soccer coach here. but I lived in America, Santa Barbara. That's why we're repping 49ers, because, you know, has to be done. And I remember because I was playing college soccer there. And I remember going to our college. And I remember watching the first game, and I remember watching the tight end get hit, and I was like, "Is he all right? Like, do you know what I mean? Is he okay?" And I remember the contact straight away. I remember that's what drew me to it. But then the tactical side of the game, the athleticism.
I mean, when I
what you do?
I'm in my salute to service sort of thing. So my dad is military. And so we grew up around Americans. And so American sport is not unknown to us. And my dad is a fan of the team that doesn't get named because they haven't got a name. And I end up, my mum is in labour. We get rushed to the hospital. My dad has to take me because I'm very, very little. This is one of my earliest memories. And I sit up and I'm watching Super Bowl 20 on a little screen in a hospital. And 3-year-old Claire is absolutely mesmerized by these big men hitting each other, looking like superheroes. I was in a love affair starts.
Yeah, I mean, once it starts, it just grips you. I mean, it's very, very explosive, keeps you gripped. I mean, I remember when I first got into it, a lot of people moan about the adverts and the time and stuff like that. I mean, how do you feel about that? I mean, like, I 3.5 hours to me is easy. Like, I love the NFL, so I never miss a beat. But I think a lot of people who start watching the game, that's one of the turn-offs to them. So, like, how do you feel about that? Like,
I mean, it's not easy if you are an overseas fan. Like me and you are sat here now. It's gone 1 a.m. and the ball has not been kicked yet. You have to want this. Especially back in the 90s and the early 20s, you know.
When it was only on TV.
You had to want it, you know. I remember being a fan before the internet was a thing. So yeah, don't start.
Always say that to people. Listen, I mean, sorry to cut you there, but like, we lived before the internet. Life didn't exist before the internet.
Yeah, I mean, I remember getting games on VHS tape. But anyway, let's not talk about Back to the Future and whatnot. But I'm amazed by there's something always going on the field. It is always entertaining, because it is a sport of measurements and the 10 yards and the preciseness of it. It has to happen the way it happens. Are there a few too many adverts? Yes, I'm glad that the NFL have sort of like chivied them on and gone, right, not so many adverts. And
so we look Channel 5, right?
Yeah, woo-woo! Channel 5, baby. And I'd much rather say, like on Channel 5, where they'll go to a bit of chat instead of the advert sort of thing. I'd rather get my money's worth from someone than...
No, I hear that. I hear that. I just, you know, it's always one of the poor excuses that comes up, I think. All right then, Claire, let's move on to the present. Chicago Bad Boy Bears, Pittsburgh Steelers today. Okay, so let's just start with Mr. Fields. Okay. Talk to me how you feel about Justin.
I mean, we are yet again in this transitional phase of building you know, I could quote you the rhetoric on this. You know, we're always rebuilding. Every team's rebuilding. It's a revolving door system. You know, you
haven't had a quarterback from like since way back when. I mean, what we can't even call. Are we going to put Jay Cutler in there?
I mean, if you're talking stats and whatnot, you absolutely have to. You have to. But, you know, it's Jim McMahon. You know,
this is how far, Claire. You've got to let me pull you there. It's only fair. It's only fair. I mean, you've got to be a hardcore fan when they've had no quarterback for like, what, 30, 40, 50 years? And now you might have the guy, and it's almost as if, like, you want him to be the guy, but if I'm honest, I'm not convinced yet. So
I am also not convinced. I mean, I've got two Trubisky jerseys in my but that was because they were special editions and that was all we were allowed in the UK and whatnot. So don't, I would have much preferred a defensive player or, wait, Walter
yeah, but Walter's a one-off.
Payton, a nice safe number, but oh well, that's what happened, and that's when the Bears were over in 2019. We are a team used to not having a quarterback, so our defense has had to step up. We are we've got more Hall of Famers than anyone else. I mean, Pittsburgh are the next closest, but then again, we've had over 100 years of history to create Hall of Famers. Most of our Hall of Famers are on the defense. And a couple of weeks ago, it was like tight end day or whatever they've called it.
National tight end day.
Yeah, national tight end day, whatever. It's National Linebackers Day every day of the week in Chicago. God damn it,
Let's go. Who we got? We got Khalil Mack.
I remember, I really got deep into football once I was paying for the Sky subscription and whatnot. And I remember I was in the States actually and managed to watch it time when Brian Urlacher was drafted. I got to watch all of that, not live, on the TV and whatnot. And Brian Urlacher's my boy, and I've got a massive, 6-foot poster of him in my den.
That's probably miniature.
Always been big. Yeah. It's called the Bear Hug. It's I'll have to put a picture up later on. It's massive. Yeah, there's only one wall in my flat it could hang on, and it's there. But getting back to actually the question you're talking about. So Justin Fields, he's coming from college into the NFL. He's had a bit of a bum start. Why we paid more for Andy Dalton and whatnot. It's been a mess.
Oh, the mess, right? That was a mess, right? That was a huge mess.
I don't think Nagy and Pace are helping him. He's literally been chucked in at the deep end.
Well, Claire, let me get
it because people ask me.
Sorry, can I get
quarterbacks are like barbecue. They take time. Don't chuck in like Trevor Lawrence for the Jags has been like, off you go, get in the deep end of this pool, baby, and he's expected to absolutely swim at the Jags. I think any player is in a hard position, especially the quarterback, which is the premium keystone position for the NFL.
Yeah.
When you leave from one system to another, which are completely different, and it's like, get on.
I have a little bit of a theory about that, especially what's happened the last couple of weeks, right? So when these backup quarterbacks come in, it's almost as if the coaches then simplify the game plan. But then when these rookies come in, it's almost as if they're exposed to the full playbook, or they're not running certain personnel or packages to help him. And that really frustrates me. For example, you look at the Jets the last week, right? They've had two backup QBs in there, absolutely smash it to pieces. And I keep thinking, is that showing Zach Wilson's inept? Or is he running a different offense to what these backup QBs are running? Because when these backup QBs are running a simple offense to me, they're lighting up the board, Claire. So
I think
why can't they get it done with Fields?
I think that's a double-edged sword. So I'll answer that both ways. Backup QBs get limited reps, so you have to get small,
right?
But you also like quarterbacks that are in the first and second round, which predominantly where they go if they're actually going to get any field time. You want to know what you've got,
right?
See, but you have to show them more. But too much too soon, going away from what they know at college is a different thing, If you watched a couple of weeks ago when Matt Nagy wasn't calling the play and you saw Justin Fields keep looking up at the box, I can't remember what game it was.
Go through that a lot, man. Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. It was about 2-3 weeks ago.
But we won that, and he played much better. And then in the third quarter, when Nagy took over, we stumbled. So keep Nagy being a head coach. 4 weeks ago, I would have been like, fire the man, get him out of the building. Now I'm like, he can stay. He's a good head coach. Keep him away from the playbook. Stop him from calling plays.
Right.
But I also think having Fields in has bought him some time because he can go, oh, we didn't do anything this season because we had a rookie QB. You know, it buys him time.
Right. All of that, I totally agree. And just for all the viewers out there, and just to give you just like a future flavour of the show, I'm not beating on Justin Fields or any player in the NFL. I want every single player to do well. I got so much respect for him, even nearly making it at that level and working at the professional level. Listen, Justin Fields, I hope he does really well. Anyway, let's move it on a little bit. Are we going to throw some shade on the Steelers, or what? Or are you worried about them today? Like, I mean, Big Ben can't seem to get it together. He's very hot and cold. You know, I mean, we like Najee Harris, but we don't really like the offensive line. The offensive line's getting hot these days, so they're moving the ball. Massive Chase Claypool fan. Big up Chase Claypool. Absolutely love him. Pittsburgh defense looks real. And just before I hand it over to you, mate, I just want to say right here and now, I mean, Mike Tomlin, talk about a coach that never gets no recognition, by the way. And I thought that insult with the college BS he had a few weeks back, he was totally right in defending himself. I think he doesn't get the respect he deserves. I think he's an amazing coach. To be honest, Claire, I do hope the Steelers end up with a winning record, but for your sake, mate, I hope the Bears win today.
I'll be honest. I will be utterly honest. As much as I am a Bears fan for my sins, I think the Steelers win tonight by 10, by 2 scores. I think the Steelers
2 scores.
2 scores. I think it's going to be. I mean, it might only be 10. It might not be 14, but within the 8 to 14 margin, it'll be within. I'll be happy with that. Okay. The Steelers are at home. They are a well-renowned team for their fans showing up, and like they've literally we've had the kick now, and they're all out with their towels and whatnot. And Big Ben, even though he's not as mobile and it's hot and cold and what, like you said, he's still got years of experience. You cannot buy experience. You cannot buy time.
Right.
And he's got that on his side.
Right.
Is he in the league next year? Absolutely not.
No, because he's year too far, right?
Yeah. Should he have gone earlier? Absolutely. But this is where we're at. Will their D carry them across the line tonight? Absolutely. You know what? You do have to run the ball a bit. It can't be pass all the time, because that's how you keep the other team honest. Like when I describe the NFL and American football to non-entities, non-knowers, I describe it as chess and poker mixed together.
Absolutely.
You need the strategy of chess, but you got to be able to occasionally lie to the other coach and go, we're going to pass, and you absolutely run, Right.
Sorry, mate.
They are both great strategy plays and whatnot. I think we've got some more injuries and whatnot on the Bears, but no. I would, if you gave me £10 to put on who's winning tonight, the smart money's on the Steelers for sure.
Okay, so
and I'll be honest about that. I'd love the W. I'm a big fan of the W, but we won't.
Let's say because we just got a minute in, and one of the things about these shows when they make predictions, when people get them right or wrong, we never review them. So you are going with Steelers by 10?
Between 8 and 14. They will be in that bracket. And a win for the Steelers.
I'm going Bears by a field goal. How you like that? Bears by
no, you never back the Bears to kick.
No, but see, you can tell. My heart's been broken by the spread and field goal so many times. I'm like, it's got to come right for me, Claire. So I'm like, the Bears by a field goal goes against the logic, right? Because the logic, Steelers maybe, but I don't know. I've got a good feeling about the Bears today. I'm not convinced on the Steelers this season, even though I do hope they do.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The Steelers are not winning their division. With my giveaway, I'll talk about that later. I sneaked teams aside and I think, right, I'm going to be seeing you in December and January when I do my giveaways for, playoff contenders and the teams that have made the playoffs. I have not scooped the Steelers aside. I have a double for me. Get
the brand away.
Yeah, the wins are and I love, this is what I love about our sport and the NFL and whatnot. The Patriots that were, because the wheels have fallen off that wagon now at last. Yay! Change happens in our sport. It's designed to be cyclical in nature. If you're at the top, you get to go at the bottom. The draft keeps everything nice and open and whatnot. You can't come in and buy the Lombardi trophy.
No.
Sweat, blood, talent, and time get you the Lombardi. Money does not. Right.
And that's a great thing how it all boils down.
Split. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one amazing thing that I like about I love how you called it our game.
Yeah.
That's one thing I love about our game is that everybody is truly dying just for that one spot, right? But I think this is where I'm just going to move it on slightly. Some teams, as we've seen with Tampa Bay last year and the Rams this year, they like to go all in, right? Trading away draft picks, and we're trying to get it for now. Where is it better to be consistently great? I think if I was a GM of the team, my aim would be, listen, I want to be there or thereabouts every year. So I can't then go and make these huge sacrifices for 1 year. Okay. So how do you feel about
let me turn this around to you. I'm gonna get on to Brady and the Bucks in a minute because I've got some lovely stats and some stuff we can get our teeth into. But let me ask you this.
Let's go.
Do you want to be the GM for the Packers for the last 5 years? We can even say the last decade. Or do you want to be the Rams GM for the last 5?
Okay, now that's a very good question. Let me get in on that because I can answer that all day long. I want to shout out Arsenal fans here because Stan Kroenke, obviously at the moment, I mean, I don't know if people know, the people of St. Louis are kicking off about that stadium and about the Rams moving there. So I'm not quite sure what's going to be happening with the Rams or with Arsenal Football Club. For the sake of our game, both games, I really hope, guys, that your fans get some justice. No, I'm just being serious, Claire. It's important, because I feel like Arsenal fans have had a bad deal. And then the St. Louis people, they're pissed off, right? And then the Rams are doing what they're doing. Saying that, would I love a bit of LA? I mean, I don't know if you saw the game last night. I mean, what they even put...
Claypool has just made an absolute banging catch. Sorry, cutting you off.
No, it's all right. It's all right. I love a bit of Chase Claypool. Sorry to about the Rams. I mean, he even put a bit of Paris Hilton on last night, and I was like, half of that stadium feels very celebrity, corporate, boxy. It ain't really my type of feel, Claire. So, to be brutally honest with you, when you're talking about the Packers, we're talking about real football. We're talking about proper football team. We're talking about a team. Let me get in. We're talking about a team with real pedigree. So, if I'm being honest, I love tradition, like I do. But I'm like an old school, new school guy. But if I had to choose, I'd be the gem of the Packers
because they are so good. But would you have not rather have won it once in the last 5 years?
Absolutely. Listen, I'm not sitting here and saying I would like my team to celebrate mediocrity. We're not going for the Super Bowl this year, lads. Nah, I ain't saying that. I'm saying if we're trading away 6 or 7 years worth of picks, right, for here and now. Because trust me, Claire, I love my gambling. But people have to realise with gambling, what happens if you lose? So if the Rams go all in the shoot and miss here, it's a problem. It's a problem because they ain't gonna be able to spot the deck again.
I mean,
You know?
they've got like no draft picks next year or something.
They're struggling, Claire. They're struggling. I swear to God, they've got no first round picks for a while. And listen, I'm not saying again. I've been a coach at a high level. I know what it takes to build teams.
6.
Have I just scored? I've just saw Chase. I'm a bit behind you, I think.
Not even 3 minutes in.
Listen, you seem very worried, by the way. But anyway, just to wrap it up about GMs and stuff like that. As I said, like I am a fan of what the Rams are. I like the cutthroat of it, but I just think to myself, be careful if you're sacrificing too much of the future. You know,
I mean,
that's all I'm saying.
The draft is very hit and miss because you're coming out of college and whatnot, and players trying to hide injuries and whatnot.
You say this. If you ever saw Justin Herbert at the combine, it's absolute baller. Oh yeah, running in, baby, let's go. Who's that? Najee? Has Najee just ran one in?
Harris.
Yes, Najee. I told you. Listen, if that offensive line gets firing, he's an absolute don. What a beast Najee Harris is. Claire, you don't look pleased. I think this is where am I supposed to be nice to you? I'll give you some stick. Listen, they'll come back in it.
No, it's fine.
Let's hope Matt Nagy just, I don't know, goes out the building.
I'm a Bears fan, but I'm a sports fan, and there are two things that I really should try and get across to everyone who's a sports fan. If you can't handle that your team is going to lose, and you can't handle your alcohol, get out of sport. It's not for you. I know that losing is one of the 3 options that will happen today. There will be a win, a loss, or the very rare.
They are rare though, Claire, man. We're talking about that.
I'm set up. I'm expecting a loss today. I'm expecting a loss today. So if we lose, oh well, I was right. And I get to be happy because I was right, because every woman always wants to be right.
Absolutely. I know that.
And I'll be happy because the Bears won. So either way, if you expect your team to lose, it's a much better outcome for your mental health, for everything.
I remember those days when, like, if United used to lose to Liverpool, I would be absolutely devastated.
Expect the loss and be happy with the W.
That's right. Okay, Claire, moving on, right? Just, talk to me about you. So obviously we met. Now, let me keep it real. I remember watching Channel 5. I just literally kept seeing your name appear, just reached out. Let me keep it real. Obviously, you didn't know me. You didn't know my background. I've got a hard story. I'm on social media, brand new. There's like you and one other person following me. So I just want to say, first of all, thank you very much. Love this conversation. Loved meeting you. Thank you for taking the chance. Tell me and tell the viewers about.
Thank you.
About you. Tell me about you. Tell me about you. So what you got going on? Like I know you've got the NFL giveaways and stuff, but like, tell us what you got going on.
See, I'm really awful about this,
I've
been a sports fan for a very long time, as said, and the Bears are my team. I do love the sport in general, so I'm very lucky, and we're very lucky here in the UK. And some people think, I live, my next fan to me is actually I'm very lucky. My best friend down the road. She's and also a woman. My 2 closest fans are both women and both from 2 different teams. So when we get together and we'll go to Starbucks or whatever, I've got to listen to a Saints point of view of what's happened this week. I've got to listen to the Titans fan who's absolutely devastated that Derrick Henry's out.
That was my special one.
Nice. Like, I've been to Chicago. I've been to games both here in the UK and the States. And if you live in Chicago, you're just going to hear this echo chamber of Chicago stuff all the time. You're just going to get fed this little pocket of stuff. But because we belong to the tribe of American football, instead of like, yes, I'm a Bears fan and I belong to that tribe. And but I will talk. I'm in lots of different groups that are chatting about the sport in general, which I really like. You know, it's not us versus them, it's us and the sport.
Also in the
sort
sport.
of thing, which
Yeah,
I think is
absolutely.
much nicer.
Yeah, it's not sort of like a mob culture, right? So, Claire,
And
I remember.
I really enjoy, like, you have to want this. Me and you are currently up. Me and you are currently up watching now. Yeah. Yes, my team are playing. Yours aren't, but you know, regularly people stay up to what? Go on, move your legs, darling. Field. Anyway, we'll get onto that later.
Sorry, just Claire. The first thing I always do, by the way, I always just count how many people are in the box.
You absolutely have to, because there have been some absolute stonkers where it's like, hang on, someone's missed.
Yeah, someone's missed.
You know, yeah. So yes. I mean, I've got friends who are BAFRA referees, so I go and help on the training crew for the university league. Yeah, I love it. If you can go and volunteer, if you like. I'm not fit enough or smart enough to be a referee, and I can't play because of health reasons. Go and volunteer.
Can I grab
they will find you a job to do.
Just a few. Just a few things on that, by the way. One. Definitely, again, for people who are on YouTube and stuff like that, I just want to say, no, I'm not media trained, and this is the first time we've done it, and we're talking about how much we love this show. If you knew my life and what we've had to do to get this done today, you'd appreciate it. There's no earpiece, there's no script. I haven't even got a smartphone. That's like keeping it real. You just roll with the punches, and do you know what, Claire? I've absolutely loved it. Second part on that is, I used to be a PE teacher. I used to be a PE teacher and a coach. So, you know, I always used to say to people when they criticise referees, I was like, listen, go on, grab the grab the whistle yourself, and you try and referee. It's one of them jobs where if I please team A, team B are pissed off.
Yeah, so, that's why I can't be a ref, because I want, with my giveaways, everyone.
You can't do nothing.
Happy, you know. I can't. I've got to make a decision, and someone ends up unhappy, and I have not got that in my body. I genuinely don't. So my Twitter husband's on Channel 5 right now.
Who's MJD?
No, as much as he'd love to be my Twitter husband, no. This is Derek DeBear. So me and him tweet a lot on channel 5 and whatnot. So he's my Twitter husband. I also have an NFL husband who we go and queue up a lot for autographs and whatnot. So yes, I have a lot of lovely followers because of what I do, and that my head's a little bit above the parapet for the fandom and whatnot. But I encourage everyone to be nice to each other, and what banter is fine, but don't be mean, you know. Just be cool.
If I can just chip in again on that, just a few things. One, although I look bald, mean, and very, very menacing, I get it. I'm one of the things I'm going to be champion all day is mental health. Through what I've actually been through my life, I've got thick enough skin to where I've been an introvert. I've lost a lot in my life. And this is why I'm going fully out there now, an extrovert, and I'm putting myself out there on the internet. And I just want to say, for everybody that's watching this, I've got thick enough skin to take all the abuse for all of us. So there ain't no words in the world out there that could hurt me. Believe me. So what, Claire? Life's too short.
There should be no abuse.
No, I'm not saying I'm going to tolerate
because of my social. Like, I see stuff that directly gets sent to me. Yeah, but. Just be nice. If you haven't got something nice to say, keep your mouth shut. If you wouldn't say it while your mother is listening, don't type it on your keyboard.
Absolutely.
You know.
And furthermore, that's what I'm sort of trying. You know, me and you are having a conversation here, but there's going to be times when I'm going to be talking tactical or depth. I'm going to be covering games, and then, again, I'm not going to be there blasting players and like this guy, boom, 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 boom. Like. People need to chill out. Do you know what I mean? We've got one life, just live it.
Like you said about the referees, you know, and I've watched, and I'm very lucky I get to be in the dressing room and whatnot. Honestly, if you can't be playing, get involved some other way. If it's like the American football is my drug, and I try and get as much access to it as I can. They they have to watch, and they've got their pocket of the field to watch whatever their position is. If they're the line judge or the umpire or whatnot, they'll have things they've got to do. And players and fans alike do not know what that referee is in charge of. So if they go, that was missed, well, that might have been missed, but that referee is watching that happening there. You know, so it is hard. And until either what needs to happen is, I mean, I don't like the whole VRA thing in,
right.
You know, I mean, there are.
No, hate it. Because
if it's so close to call that a computer has to call it, let it be.
Yeah, well, that's where one of these things I've got to learn here is about the latency. With what was I going to say? I can't remember what I was just about to say there because you was just on about refereeing decisions and stuff. Oh God, that's gone totally out of my mind. When you're on about I've got it. When you're talking about VAR and decisions like that, if we're using VAR on subjective opinions, like for instance, you think it's a foul, I don't. How is video going to clear that up? And that's what annoys me. Whereas if they use video for is the ball in, is the ball out? That's clear. It's either in or out, right? Sometimes it can be very hard to tell. My point being is we should give the power back to the officials when it comes to subjective decisions, because I don't understand what's the point throwing it up to three men who've got a TV in front of them and they still can't make a decision anyway. Yeah. There you go, and you can't tell me it's not open to more corruption anyway. Yeah. Does that make sense? Which is true. It
does, and I want it very clear. I do not think that NFL referees are
but I'm saying there's just more layers to it, isn't there? Just keep the guy with the whistle in charge on the field. Let him give him the power. Whereas,
that I think extends length. Yeah. So
on a serious point, honestly, up until this year, did you know these TV companies was in charge of what replays get shown? Did you know that?
Oh, I didn't know. I did not know.
I need to make fans aware of that. This is a true fact. TV companies were deciding which replays get shown. There you go. So my point being is, give the guy on the field the power, right, Claire?
Yeah.
Give him the power. Give him the power. So just before I let you go, because I mean we've done well, you know, Claire. We've done really well. I think we've been on about 40 minutes.
Really? Jeez.
I've got to get my guy in because I'm going to be mentioning him in the show a bit later. And even though I'm a huge 49ers fan, I'm just going to ask you about what you think about the MVP race this year, because as you know, Lamar Jackson's my guy.
Yeah.
I honestly think this guy. I think this guy, when he is on form, he's the best quarterback in the NFL without a shadow of a doubt. That's just my opinion. I believe he can, and I'll justify it why. Because I believe what he can do with his legs and his arm and his leadership skills and his way he seems to be galvanising that young Ravens team. I'm telling you, everybody that's sleeping on Lamar Jackson, you need to wake up, because at the end of this season, when he gets an MVP and he's two-time MVP, you're going to be saying, yeah, Lamar Jackson's better than Patrick Mahomes. I had no doubt whatsoever the Ravens is going to win that game the other day. Please watch out for Lamar Jackson. Anyway, the floor is yours. Who's your MVP, Claire?
It's going to be really boring. People are going to boo and comment underneath this video. I apologise, but please give us a thumb up and a like and share. Do all the sensible things you need to do for social media. I'm going with Tom Brady. I know that's really boring, but that man has revolutionised and changed our sport. No, look, I know I'm usually a bit of a hater on him and whatnot, and I've got some stories about meeting his parents. But anyway,
we need to hear that.
The Buccaneers, for the first time ever, have got all 22 starters to come back.
Right.
After winning a Super Bowl.
I've got to.
Because they're working with Tom Brady. He is the smartest man in the room. He worked out if he doesn't take all the, if your draft capital, if your pot of money is a cake, he's like, if I have a thin slice of cake off of this cake that the NFL's offering, the team's offering me, there's more cake to go around for the rest of the team, which means I can get better defense, better catches, whatnot.
Yeah,
he's not greedy. He can have more talent around him. And then because he's now got more rings than he's got fingers, not quite, but he's going to get there, he gets thousands of dollars outside off the plate that isn't the NFL cake. You know, yes, he was brilliant with him and Bill Belichick. Will it be the same as he cannot have the time that he's had with the Patriots as the Buck, because it's a shorter window. You know, he is getting older, stuff is happening. But if you protect your quarterback, excellent things happen.
Right. I've got to pull you back on two things, Claire. One, we need to hear this story about meeting Tom Brady's parents. Go on then. Tell us.
This was a few years ago. So back when, if you remember, the NFL UK, we would go to Wembley, we would have a game. This was the Patriots-Bucks game. And the tailgates were not open to everyone. You had to enter a lottery and you were given a ticket to entry before they worked out, hang on, we can make the tailgate a giant shop sort of thing. And it was much more exclusive and whatnot. Anyway, so I'm walking around, I'm with the guy that has brought me, we've got our tickets, we're having a good time. And I'm in my Bear stuff, he's in his Saints stuff. I've got a Super Bowl replica ring on just for the hell of it, you know, as you do. And I walk past a guy who's got a Super Bowl ring on.
Oh, cool.
And I go up to him and I go, you know, is that real or is it a replica? Because if it's a replica, where the hell did you get it from? Because I want one that good. And if it's not, and it is legit, I'm awfully sorry, I don't know who you are. Can you enlighten me? I do apologize.
Oh
so
my God.
he turns around and tells me it's real. So he turns around and tells me, it's real, and he's Tom Brady's dad.
Whoa.
And my mouth engages before my brain engages, because my opening gambit to him was shut up and prove it. Anyone can say they're Tom Brady's dad. He laughs at, you know, I'm like, prove it. So he gets his wallet out.
And it was you like, give me $1 million.
Shows me, like, he's got granddad picture, like he was a total granddad. It was really lovely.
No way.
So he's got pictures of Tom and girl in the wallet. It was lovely.
No way.
So we're having a chat. I speak to his mum. I tell her that, like, and this is before Brady's, like, I mean, he was a household name because he was an NFL quarterback, but this was back before he'd won like 4 other rings, sort of thing, you know. And I said to her that, you know, watching your son play is like watching Picasso paint or the Bolshoi Ballet. You are watching someone at the pinnacle of excellence. And I said, I want you to know, is that wonderful to hear from a female fan, but an overseas fan, but also not a brown-nosing Patriots fan. Her words, not mine. So we get chatting, blah, blah, blah. And I'm working up the net, and God bless him, they buy me and my mate a round of drinks. And this was back when the dollar was we got $2 to the pound. So they were spending like $24 on a beer at the tailgate. It was ridiculous, sort of, you know. But when you're a multi-millionaire's son and whatnot, they're not a skint. But anyway, so I work up the nerve and I'm like, can I wear that? I mean, I've got my wallet. I took my wallet out and I had my game ticket in it. And I said, everything in there will get you to me. If I'm naughty and the urge to run comes over me, you will be able to instantly track me down with this wallet, sort of thing. So he's like, right, I'll hold the wallet, you put the ring on. And so I
Love that. Wow.
I got to wear, I've worn 7 proper rings time, but
What?
we'll have stories at another time for Claire and her rings.
Wow. That sounds amazing. No, man, who knew that? You kept that quiet.
Well, because it's what I do is not about me. It's
all right, I hear that. You've got no ego, have you, at all?
No, I'm nothing special at all. I'm just some idiot that likes to dress up and give stuff away.
I hate that. Don't say that. Don't say that. Yeah, obviously, you're an amazing fan. You're amazing what you do. You must be an amazing person to even give me a chance. Claire, I'm going to wrap this up and I'm going to let you go. I hope you've enjoyed it. I thoroughly have. What a way to start the show. But
good luck.
What was you going to say? Oh, do you feel like we're just getting started?
I know. I'm like, I could go for another 40 minutes.
Let's keep going then. I just thought with 40 in, what would you like to do?
I mean, and the game hasn't been too hot, so I don't feel like I'm missing anything.
Listen,
so we can keep going for a bit longer.
All right. We can keep it rolling. Listen, that's no problem. I've got loads more for you anyway.
But everyone should get I'm looking like I think tonight. I think the NFL UK guys have got a load of Bears fans to tweet because it's going to be very Bears heavy tonight, and I think that's a bit harsh because it's a Steelers home game.
Yeah, right.
But you can see me on the TV later on tonight.
Cool. I mean, how cool is that? Just a few things. They must have good analytics saying a lot of Bears fans watch, but it is Chicago, right? Saying that Pittsburgh are one of the most biggest, obviously, franchises out there. Listen, I can't be on the Ace Jordan show, the very first Ace Jordan show, and not talk about my team. What's happening? 49ers, let's go. Now, why waste the time? Listen, now when we're talking about GMs and we're talking about bad managerial decisions, let me break it down for everybody that doesn't know. Jimmy Garoppolo this season, why hold on to Jimmy G? Have an average season, don't trade him, and we still go and play him. What is the point? Put Trey Lance in. Don't wait till pre-season next year and let him get warmed up then. Let him figure it out now. While we suck, get him in.
Rewind this show. I started at the beginning. You asked me about Justin Fields. If you didn't listen to what I said at the beginning of the show, this interview's right. You do not throw someone. Get them some practice. Get them behind some. Brett, Rodgers. Whatever's going on there, none of you, and I won't badmouth the Packers. I'm a cool Bears fan. Jordan Love had to, Rodgers had to sit behind Brett Favre. Brady sat behind Drew Bledsoe.
Right.
You very, very rare. I can name.
Okay, but here's my point now, right? The only reason I'm not saying he has to play straight away. I'm not one of them who's saying, "Oh, rookies have to play." My point being is, let me just explain. If you are moving off Jimmy G and you've traded as if Trey Lance is the future, then we are in a season where we're not going to make it to the playoffs. If you're moving off Jimmy G, if you know you are moving off Jimmy G, you need to play Trey Lance now. Why not? Let me explain. If we wait till next season, trade Jimmy G away, and then put Trey Lance in, why waste 8 games now? Surely the best way to it's like saying, how do you know you're ready until you chucked in at the deep end, man? Go and chuck the boy in. Let him play. Let him play.
That's true. But last season, everyone was banging on and like Burrows.
He's amazing.
Threw him in. He's amazing. Don't get me. I do love the Bengals and the play and whatnot. He got his knee absolutely FTK'd because of that decision.
Okay.
And that may now limit his future.
Okay.
Teddy Bridgewater got through under the bus. RG3 got through under the bus.
Under the bus.
So don't wish for that.
But Claire, do you honestly believe, because I know you know your football, right? The 49, those teams you're mentioning and the 49ers, yo, they've got pieces. You know they have. Debo Samuel, have you seen this season he's having? Absolute killer. Like, and I know we're talking about the offensive line and stuff like that, right? Obviously, we're talking about the offensive line needs to be great. I understand that. I just think to myself, as a 49ers fan, now is the time to put Trey Lance in. Put him in. Don't wait till next season. If you're moving off Jimmy G, if you're keeping Jimmy G, this is what I'm saying. If Jimmy G is part of the long-term process, no problem. But we all know he isn't. And the team are playing like they know he isn't. The team are almost like, well...
Then maybe wait till December. Maybe he's got a couple more weeks where you know you're trying to look for the better draft position and whatnot. If you know you're not in the hunt and whatnot. But don't throw him in now.
Well, or what interception? Well, do you know something? We're going to politely disagree. We're going to respectfully disagree.
Yeah, no, that's
which is good, right? Which is good because I think the guy.
And don't get me wrong. I know what it's like as a fan to want the win. I very much know. I'm a very hungry fan for the win.
It ain't
it's
even
so
about
rare and special in us as Bears fans.
Do you know what, Claire? To be honest, it ain't even about the win. It's just that I'm a fan of, as you can tell, like Lamar's my guy, right? So any mobile quarterback, I'm a fan of. Saying that, obviously, it's not all about running. I understand the mastery at the line, the command at the line, putting your team in the right play. Hence, what I said earlier. That whenever I watch football, the first thing I always look at is the box count, and this is why I'm a huge fan of the Titans because. When they've got Derrick Henry in, whenever they always cause that defense to really, really compromise themselves. You send 8-9 men to the box and you leave AJ and Julio Jones in one-on-one coverage, you're getting gashed. You don't put enough men in the box, you're getting gashed by Henry anyway. So, you know, I'm a huge.
You're damned if you do. You're damned if you don't.
Right. So are you telling me? The 49ers with Trey Lance in there and he becomes an 11th guy you've got to account for. Debo Samuel's having an absolute amazing season. Do you know what I mean? Brandon Ayuk hardly gets any touches. We've got George Kittle out there as well. Like, 49ers, there's a good base there. For me, because I do believe in young players, but they need the time, they need the reps, and he's only going to get it when you get him out there. Now, you can't throw every rookie out there if the offensive line's terrible and they're going to break down. I.e., as you said, like Joe Burrow, I hear that. Chicago at the start of the season definitely wasn't ready to play Justin Fields. I hear that. So don't. But I'm just saying now, halfway into the season, and do you fancy the 49ers to get out the West? Because I don't.
No. Absolutely. I mean, they are not one of the teams I've scooped aside. Let's put it that way. I mean, we're the start of December. At the end of this game, we will be exactly halfway through the season. When the whistle blows, we will be halfway through. And maybe December, Thanksgiving. But yeah, give it a couple of weeks. Because he will need some, this is what it's like to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. But maybe when there's 2 or 3 weeks left, when teams are going to be like playing a little bit softer if they're not playing for anything,
Okay.
You protect the family silver and your quarterback. There's no team that doesn't want a franchise quarterback.
Right.
So if you think you've got something decent, look after it.
So who are we looking after on the Bears other than Fields?
What, to be good or
Yeah. Like other than Justin Fields, where do you go as a Bears fan, Claire? Obviously we've got Montgomery, Robinson, we've got a few hitters out there, but where's the future?
Max going. I really like Colt Kermet.
Yeah, Cole Kmet's baller.
Eddie Jordan.
Cole Kmet's baller. You've said a great player there. Cole Kmet's
I've got a Montgomery jersey.
Cole Kmet's going to be the next.
We've got some young talent.
Sick.
I'm looking forward to the future. I know this season and maybe next season aren't going to be great, but we're coming. I can feel it.
You can feel it. I've just not. So, talk to me about your little, your single Terry jersey in the background there.
So I do have some signed memorabilia. If you leave me alone with some money and some internet access, I'll buy something Bears. I'm a sucker for a hat. So I do have a signed Mike Singletary jersey on the wall, and I do have a Gale Sayers on the wall. I think I've now got 70 autographs by 68 different players on 69 different items or something. So but that's over decades of collecting, and I'm always happy, like because I've been a fan for so long and I do buy bits and pieces. If you do want to get in contact, like, how do I look after my hats? How do I clean this? Whatnot, please. I exist to help other fans and point them in the right direction. I'm always happy to engage with people. If you're, a lot of the questions I do get asked a lot by women, like, how do I get my jersey to fit over my boobs and what size should I go for? And I'm happy to help fans through that, or getting a better quality jersey and pointing them where to go, or whatnot. I'm always happy to help. I've got a body of knowledge, and I got interviewed the other day and someone's like, oh, do you consider yourself an influencer? And I'm like, I don't want to be an influencer. What I want to be is a helper and an aid and a spokesperson for the NFL and the sport. Well,
Claire, you've honestly done that. I can't thank you enough for this. I've absolutely loved it. I'm hoping it's going to be first of many. I hope we can continue this on throughout the weeks, and we can continue, to keep blessing the NFL.
And I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to. I'm a very passionate fan, and I know a little bit from my Madden days and whatnot. But I'm always happy to listen to more and people that know more than what I know, and more in-depth play and whatnot. So and like someone took a chance on me, and because of that I was able to become Claire the Bear and do my giveaways and whatnot. So why shouldn't I take a chance on other things happening?
You definitely have.
Oh, come on, Bears, can you do something,
Claire? Just before we get off, I've just got to say just a few thank yous as well. I've got to thank you, Gavin, for this beautiful bar, for everything he's done for me. I can't thank you enough. Thank you as well, Victoria Elizabeth Naylor, for making this happen and all your support and belief. I really can't appreciate that enough. Claire, again, great to meet you. I hope to see you real soon. Shout out everybody on Twitter as well, at the Ice Jordan Show, Ice Jordan Sports. Shout out Claire the Bear.
So I have to put my phone down so I'll be able to get on. And
no, I'll let you get on. I'm very lucky that I've had a good air off you there, Claire. Just thank you again so much. I really appreciate your time.
That's right. But so please make sure you go give us a follow. I will retweet links and whatnot. Me and Ace are very, very new to this. Please make sure you follow at Claire the Bear 85. I don't just cover the Bears. Every team has to get some lovings, even the team that I don't particularly like. Everyone is welcome and whatnot. I try and engage with as many people as I can. If you've got genuine questions, I will try the best to answer them. Ace knows what he's talking. He's got an in-depth knowledge on a level that I don't. So if it's more game related and play breakdown and whatnot, he's definitely your guy for that. And I'm happy to point you to where you can spend your money and whatnot. Have a great evening. Stay safe. Don't drink and drive. Support your team responsibly. And, you know, it's November. Let's have, you know, salute to service for all our military out there and our allies.